If you need to get your cards for the upcoming set, please check out Saga Concepts. You can use the link in the description below to help yourself and help the channel out. Hey, it's Curly. Today I wanted to try and get ahead of the strategy presentation that's happening this Wednesday, where they might reveal what the next Masques units are going to be. I want to try and predict that here, so we can either see if I'm right or come back at this and laugh at how wrong I am. Right off the top, we're going to eliminate vast majority of the decks that are available in Overdress. This gray tier here is going to be all the decks, units, whatever, that I know or I feel pretty much 99% sure will not show up in the anime in any way, shape, or form, which means they will more than likely not get a mask. It is possible that they might do like non-anime mask, but I think that won't happen right now. It's kind of up in the air, but we're going to just say that that's the rule right now. We have a couple of unwritten rules that we're going to talk about. One of them being that stuff like the collabs are not going to show up. They're not getting masked, right? So that means your Monster Strike, your Shaman King, your Record of Ragnarok, and your Token Rambu, your Mushi King, no mask for them. As cool as it would be to see the bugs have a mask, not going to happen. Likewise, for Youthquake, I don't think those are going to be getting masked either. Obviously, the story of Youthquake is separate from what's happening in Overdress or Willdress, so I don't think any of these units will be getting masked. These sort of random throwaway units, like this guy, Alter Slaughter, this guy, and this guy here, I don't think any of them are going to show up in the anime. They memed a little bit and gave them support in Set 11. They're not showing up in the anime, they're not getting masked. I think it's the same thing for like the promo boss units, so the ones that came out in monthly Bushiroad. I'm possibly missing one. Did they not have one for Keter Sanctuary? I guess not. Interesting. But I don't think these are going to get masked either. I don't think they're going to show up in anime, right? And we're just going off of the rule that right now the next wave of masks will show up in the anime, and these will not show up in the anime for sure. Likewise, the Dear Days gang, I don't think that's going to be showing up in the anime. As cool as it would be to see Yuki and have some sort of crossplay with the game, don't think that's going to happen. Let alone this next set specifically, or sorry, this next season of the anime specifically. Then the whole glitter guys, don't think they're going to show up. They would have showed them already if they had the, the desire to do so, but they didn't. So I don't think glitter is going to show up in any way, shape, or form. The Cray Cross Epic units, I don't think they're going to show up in any way, shape, or form in the anime. They already showed up in the game, but I don't think they're going to show up in the anime in any way, which also means stuff like Shoujo Doji and Arkwright are not going to show up while they don't have glitter. They are related to these glitter units, right? So that's not going to show up in the anime, I think. Again, rule being, if it's not in the anime, it's not going to show up as a mask. Then, last but not least here, we have the, I guess you can peek at the next tier. Last but not least, we have here the encounters, as well as the stride decks, which are also encounters, basically. I don't think these are going to get masked. That doesn't make any sense. I'm pretty sure these are just basically TCG exclusive, if that makes sense. They, of course, showed up in the anime before. I don't think they'll be showing up in Willdress, Overdress, and even if they do, I'm pretty sure it's not going to be in the form of a mask. Then the next tier up here is we've got a sort of different unwritten rule here. This is about the Start Deck 5, the original 5 decks that we got for Overdress, the sort of main characters of the anime. Their units, Yu, Danji, Toya, Megumi, and Tomari. I don't think any of them are going to get masked this season. As much as maybe Magnolia Mask might be needed, or Seraph Snow Mask, or Snow Mask, or whatever might be needed, I don't think that's going to happen. Reason being is that Yu is with Tomari and Megumi, so I'm pretty sure they're not going to get tempted into going to Uniformers and getting a mask. Don't see that happening with Yu around, where they left off in the previous season. Danji, after what happened to Michiru, I don't think that's going to happen to him. Maybe, he's maybe an outlier, maybe. The other maybe outlier is Toya, who's kind of by himself right now, and he's chasing after the Zorga guy. So maybe something might happen to him, but I don't really think anything's going to happen to these 5. I think they're going to stay pure, they're just going to get their own new forms, beat the mask, so on and so forth, right? Next up, we have these units that just already have a mask. So they're not getting mask, obviously, right? Greedon got a mask inside 11, Jack Jewel got one in 9, as did Unica, as did Leonorn, as did Zorga, and finally as will Orphist in set 12. I originally, in coming up with these kinds of rules, trying to figure out what was going to happen next, I was thinking possibly what they were doing is that they were doing 2 masks for each nation and then rolling it out that way, because I don't see a reason for them to just stockpile a bunch of masks on one nation and not sort of spread it out, right? And that seems to make sense because we got 2 for Stoicheia, 2 for Dark States, and then we were going to get 1 for Brancake, maybe another one for Brancake, and I was originally going to do this video, okay, it's either going to be 2 for Dragon Empire, 2 for Keter Sanctuary, or 2 for Lyrical, because those are the only nations left that don't have masks. And then, dumbass, Greedon Mask decided to pop up at the last presentation like some stupid jump scare and be like, oh, by the way, Greedon has a mask all of a sudden. And I can't get over how much I hate Greedon Mask. The main reason I hate Greedon Mask is, aside from the fact that I think as an upgrade he's kind of whack, right? Just super whack. His drip is alright, but he's whack overall, is the fact that they could have waited to show this in the anime if they're going to do that in the anime. Maybe they're not, right? Maybe that's why they revealed it. But if this is going to play in the anime, it's going to have like its own episode or whatever. Why did you show this so early on? Why did you not wait? Especially considering that the character that uses Greedon, Shinobu, the fucking bull-haired kid, does he have a bull haircut? Whatever. That guy, he sort of like dipped from the uniformers, like, nah, peace, I'm gonna do my own thing. This, I'm not about this, I'm gonna play how I play. And then all of a sudden, come this next season, he's like, actually, you know what, never mind, maybe I do want a mask. That would have been a better, like, reveal, it would have been cool to see how that develops and whatnot. Instead, it's just like, oh, by the way, set 11, 1 random mask. So whatever. Greedon mask exists for whatever reason. Congrats, Greedon guys. Nothing against you specifically, it's just the principle of the thing that annoys me. So with all of those out of the way, we're left with these certain, I'm not going to count because there's too many, units left that can possibly receive a mask. And we got this last tier here, which is going to be my pick for the units that will actually get a mask. So those are the ones I'm going to lock in. I'm going to say we're still going to get something similar to what we did in like set 10 when we only got, set 10 when we only got like 4 masks. So I think I'm going to narrow it down to 3, maybe 5 max to pick between those. And these are all the ones that are sort of left over that don't already have a mask, aren't from the start 5, and have a shot of showing up in the anime, right? Some of these have already showed up in the anime to some extent, but let's just go ahead and talk through them. First things first, for Dragon Empire, we have 3 different picks here. In Buff-Saga, Eugene, again, Diva. So Buff-Saga, of course, has showed up in the anime. She is part of the start 6, technically, so you could argue that maybe she deserves to be down here, but I figure the way that Buff-Saga has been playing as a deck, and the fact that Mita is not really doing anything, I feel like she's a pretty good candidate, so we're going to immediately lock her in for one of the decks that I think is going to get a mask. Might be just because I think that'll look crazy cool, and I would like to see a Buff-Saga mask. Whereas, like, I don't see Eugene getting any respect in the anime. It's pretty clear, let's just get these guys out of the way, that Bushiroad could care less about Eugene and Barrel Magus. I thought it was going to be the same for, like, the set 1 gang of, Eugene, Buff-Saga, Barrel Magus, Hexorb, Orphist, and Zorga. But Orphist and Zorga actually get time in the anime. They actually get important characters in the anime, and they also even got new waves of versions and festival collections. So I was like, all right, never mind. Y'all ain't part of the start deck, the set 1 gang. Goodbye. Go get famous, whatever. So we were just left with these 3 here. Right? The fucking Bushi's clowns, right? When they need someone to get beat up or whatever, hey, let them play Barrel Magus. Hey, we have a game coming out. We need a character to lose all their games. Barrel Magus, perfect unit for that. Hey, we need people to lose in the anime? Oh, I guess they were playing Hexorb. Hey, we need someone to play a deck and lose all their matches and not even show their matches? let's make him play Eugene. Lols. So I don't think these guys are gonna get any respect. I originally thought that since Hexorb got a upgraded unit so recently, that she wouldn't be in contention for a mask. But then again, of course, Orphis has 2 versions, and so does Zorga, and they got a mask. So that doesn't really track. But I do think that maybe the fact that she got a new version so recently, but at the same time, Unica was released, and then she immediately got a mask the next set. So it can kind of go up in the air, but in general, I don't think these guys are getting a mask. Bushiroad doesn't care about them. They care a little bit about Hexorb, it seems, but the set 1 gang, we ain't getting none. Gandiva is an interesting one, because I don't know if they would really give it a mask, considering how well it's doing in the actual TCG, but I don't know if that really matters. They did release Gandiva in set 10, likewise with Solarian, but there's no anime counterpart just yet. It's more likely that they'll get an anime counterpart, but who really knows? I actually think Solarian is also going to get a mask, especially considering that he hasn't been doing anything as of late in terms of the TCG, so that might actually help him out. But it's hard to tell what relevance the actual like TCG meta has with who's getting a mask or not, because presumably these are predetermined to an extent, right? So before the cards even come out and are played. But I don't feel like Grandiva is going to get a mask. I feel like Solarian will get a mask. And then there's Youthberg, which is an interesting one, because a lot of people think that Youthberg is in contention to get a mask. Highly than all the other ones. Based on the sheer fact that the sort of character development that Raika is going through right now after what happened to Michiru and whatnot, they think that might be possible. I guess I see it, but I really don't think he is. He's more likely to get a new Youthberg form than he is to get a mask, but it's kind of hard to tell. I originally thought that since we're getting Brankgate, and maybe there's a second Brankgate, I thought that Gravidia would get a mask, but the fact that Gravidia and Bafsagra's players, units, fighters, are like friends and whatnot, and they're usually together all the time, I find it kind of weird that that would happen, but maybe that's the case. So we're definitely going to consider Gravidia. I also think Welshra is in good contention, because they have the character Tyzel that they haven't done anything with. Putting a mask in a deck like Welshra sounds fucking stupid to me, personally, but it does sound like something Bushiroad would try to do. I don't think Sam is going to get a mask, and I don't think they're going to bother bringing back the hero guy, because honestly, heroes might as well be part of the set 1 gang, because they don't give a shit about heroes, right? So we're just going to put these guys here. Flagberg, I don't think we'll get a mask. I don't think so. But I do think Granfia might actually get a mask here. Possibly. I think Solarian is more likely to get it than Granfia, but then we have a sort of interesting ripple here where we have the lyrical girls. Personally, I feel like there's another unwritten rule where the original lyrical girls from set 1 also will not show up in the anime. That is sort of my thoughts on that. For some reason, I don't think they're going to show like the Easter and the dress up stuff in the anime. I don't see that happening. As for everything else in lyrical, the only thing that showed up is actually Kyoka. From that one girl that never had a fight and never did anything, but we still celebrate her birthday. But honestly, the way that Bushi typically treats Bushiroad, Bermuda Triangle and Lyrical Monastery to an extent, I don't see that happening. I don't see any of these lyrical girls getting any kind of mask or being any kind of evil or doing anything of note like that. The last one I want to consider is the Dragon Tree, which I know sounds ass backwards, but the tree itself doesn't use the mask. It uses Dragon Tree markers, and the tree itself is kind of whack, not gonna lie. Waiting like 6 turns just to get an orb trigger guaranteed doesn't sound very plausible. They can very easily make this a much scarier boss by, well, giving it some kind of mask. Mask is already a Cray type elemental unit where it can go in any deck, so maybe they'll do something. I don't know if it's gonna be a mask particularly, like it might be some other kind of thing, but sort of in the same kind of vein, right? And then the last thing I'll take is, let's say, to confuse the people that skipped ahead to the end of the video, let's throw in Bunny Girl and let's throw in Kyrie to confuse the people that are just skipping ahead to the end. Because I think instead of what they're gonna do is they're gonna reveal new units that will then get masked later on. Because I think this whole Will Dress Uniformers thing is supposed to go on for another season. Or this is the last season, I'm not entirely sure, but I think they might just introduce new units that are just masked right away out of set 12 or something like that, or maybe in set 13 they'll get a mask. So those are my final picks. I know I cheated and I said like 5 or something like that, and I ended up with 8, but whatever, I made up my own rules so I can break them whenever I want. But in any case, those are my final thoughts on who I think is going to get a mask. We can check back on this after Wednesday, when they do the strategy presentation and they give us a sneak peek of what's coming, specifically what's coming in the anime. But if they don't, then I guess we'll check back later on and see how wrong I am. Till next time, take care of yourselves and each other, play Vanguard, and have yourself a damn good one.